We're gonna get right into it, man. This punk ass mother Clay Helton just ruined our football team for over a decade. Just crazy, man. As you see, we're getting ready to take on the Oregon Ducks up there in Austin, Eugene, Oregon. We're coming in as the #1 team in the country. They're 0-2 on the season. B+ overall for the Ducks. This man had no business being our head coach. I'm talking about Clay Helton, of course. The man went 7 years as USC's head coach. 1 win on the road versus a top 10 team. Now, I mentioned this in the last video. That was against the Washington Huskies back in 2016. Never forget that game. We put on a great performance that night against that team and that hostile environment. But that was the only top 10 win on the road that Clay Helton has ever experienced. Matter of fact, now that you think about it, Clay Helton had no business being the head coach of this football team. It was too much for him. And his coaching philosophies are absolutely horrible. Just awful. So, after Clay Helton blamed T. Martin for the offense going bad, and I'm talking about 2018 now, he decided to let T. Martin go. Eventually, starting in 2019, he hired another offensive coordinator. And this was by far one of the worst decisions, as if he doesn't have a list of bad decisions already. But this pretty much sealed his fate. You go and hire Graham Harrell as the offensive coordinator, a guy that loves the air raid. Now remember, we've been recruiting players that are not built to run the air raid. We are traditionally tough up front. We're tough up front, we're a run team. And then you bring in Graham Harrell and you want to change the whole philosophy of the team. Just ridiculous, man. So, with Graham Harrell being our offensive coordinator over the last 3 seasons, not only did USC regress drastically on offense, but we also did what I never thought we'd ever do before. The last 3 seasons, we have been the worst rushing team in the Pac-12. Now, this is a school that prides itself on its running back tradition. Remember, this used to be called the glamorous position in college football back in the day of O.J. Simpson, Marcus Allen, Charles White. This used to be the position in college football before Graham Harrell and Clay Helton came in and just messed all that up. Look at that run right there, though. Chase Dotton, nice run right there by the Duck running back. And then we get a stop right here. He's not doing that twice on us. So back to Clay Helton, man. We become the worst rush offense in the Pac-12 over the last 3 years. And you have these pro-Helton idiots that's continuing to make excuses for this man and how the way he's running his football program. Just ridiculous. Look at the Brian Commissioner Gordon. That's how we used to run the ball back in the day. Clay Helton, now keep in mind, back to Clay Helton. I forgot to mention. Are you aware that we have not had a 1,000-yard rusher in the last 3 seasons? We're about to go into the 4th season, the 1st season under Lincoln Riley. And I'm hoping that Travis Dye and company will stop that streak. We have not had a 1,000-yard rusher since Ronald Jones II has been on campus. That was the last time. That was back in 2017. Since then, we've declined in the rushing attack, a position that we usually have a lot of pride in. Just ridiculous, because as you know, we have to run the football to be successful. Now, USC was an absolute disaster under Clay Helton, starting with practice. Let's go to practice, as a matter of fact. We don't even practice like a championship team. But you hear Clay Helton going on and on and on. How we want to win a national championship, how we want to win the Pac-12, and of course my personal favorite, we want to win the Pac-12 South. That's all you had, man. Never had no high ambition. He grew complacent. It's just disgusting what he did. And eventually he got lazy in recruiting. For the most part, he stopped recruiting the best players in the state of California, which really pisses me off. Now remember, we had Bryce Young as a recruit at one point. Eventually he declined and then went down to Tuscaloosa. And I'm still to this day pissed off about that. As you see, we're winning 14-3. we're doing our thing as we go into the second quarter. But Clay Helton, the recruiting standpoint was an absolute disaster. You stopped recruiting in California. You allowed schools from the SEC to come into our territory, our pipeline, and take the best recruits, and they either go out to the East Coast, they go down south, or they go up north in Oregon. Just disgusting. As if we're already not a big enough pipeline. But now we got cats leaving, they're continuing to leave. Got cats all over in the SEC. I know Tennessee got plenty of California natives on their squad. It's just disgusting what Clay Helton has done to us over the last 7 years, man. He made us soft. He made us weak. Nobody fears going to the Coliseum anymore. This past season, with him being fired, was proof of how bad we really were. Players never developed. We had players like Cameron Smith coming out of high school. He was a 5-star linebacker, had a phenomenal freshman season, and then after that, everything just went downhill for him. Don't get me wrong. He put up spectacular numbers, stellar numbers in tackles, tackles for loss and stuff like that. But he never really developed into the player that he actually could have been. So Tyler Stewart went down, and he's going to be out for a while. But we got another wide receiver coming up, and his name is Stanley Morales. It's number 10. And he's going to be making a big, impactful moment in this game and throughout the rest of the season. You'll see it coming soon. But anyway, back to Clay Helton. Sorry-ass coach. One bowl win, and that was in the Rose Bowl. And once again, as I said in the last video, I am not counting the Las Vegas Bowl, and that was just a bad read right there by me. Now this cat right here, Lewis, we tried to recruit him. He's from Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Sheldon Lewis. We tried to recruit him, but he chose the Ducks over us for some reason. I guess he knew he was going to start right away, because he damn sure wasn't starting at USC. We're too deep at every position right now. So anyway, back to Clay Helton. He continues to grow complacent. He stops recruiting. He doesn't recruit as hard. And then the offensive line took a hit because we just did not do a good job over the last few years of recruiting that position. And that's mainly due to the fact that Clay Helton ignored the importance of what it is to get tough on the offensive line. Offensive line is weak. We gave up a lot of sacks over the years, especially with 2012. It was 20 or 19, I forgot. Now in 2021, it did improve a little bit, despite the fact that we went 4-8 on the season. But you can still see that we still need improvement, and I'm glad that Lincoln Riley's finally addressing that. We're going to have to give that time, though, because it's not going to happen overnight. But anyway, the defense had to bail the offense out over the last 3 years in a lot of bad predicaments. We couldn't run the ball worth a damn. And then there goes Stanley Morales right there on that touchdown pass. The fact that he was able to not only regress in the rushing attack, but in the team overall, and all that in 2021 just came all together. You saw how bad we really were with him being gone. Just disgusting. And then he had to leave Dante in there to clean up all his mess. And we really thought, well, I can't speak for myself, but there were some USC fans that really thought he was going to do all that in just a handful of games. That was damn near impossible to do. So as you see, Tyler Stewart was out for 5 weeks. And now Stanley Morales is going to take his spot for now until he returns, that is. So, oh man, there goes Leo Ward fumbling the ball. That's our second turnover of the game, despite the fact that we're up 28-6. But Clay Helton, in my opinion, should never be coaching again. Hearing him talk after games was just so frustrating. It got to the point where I have to stop listening to him. Nothing was ever his fault. Never had an answer for anything, nothing particular. And then, of course, his favorite go-to line: we're focusing on winning the Pac-12 South. It's out of reach. We're focusing on winning the Pac-12 South. You a joke, man. It was just disgusting just hearing him talk. And then, of course, the practices were absolutely awful. How are you a football coach and you're not allowing your team to practice tackling. Tackling is a key essential element to the game of football. And you decide to take that out of practice because you scared people going to get hurt. You a bitch, bro. That should have been an interception right there the whole time. I ain't gonna lie. Kenny Smith made a nice touchdown grab though. How are you a head coach and you are not allowing your players to tackle, especially defensive players? Wrap up drills, tackling drills. And then they don't go hard. They never went hard in practice. They'll go like 30%, just lazy practices. Like people say, that players just standing around and just annoying like that, man. Just gets on my nerves. There's no way in hell he should be coaching right now. Georgia Southern's in for a rude awakening. That's all I gotta say about that, man. I'd be surprised if he takes them to where they're hoping he would take them. I'm not a believer. I can't believe I actually one of those people that was like, let's give him a chance. But the writings were on the wall for me after that Cotton Bowl loss to Ohio State. Again, Sam Darnold got sacked 10 times in that game. That was Ronald Jones' last game, rocking the garnet and gold. And we were just an absolute mess, man. I still can't believe. What I can't believe, though, is the actions of Pat Hayden and Lynn Swann. Pat Hayden was the one that hired that man initially. And then Lynn Swann was the man that gave him a contract extension. And now look at us. We have to pay what? We had to pay him $12 million just to get him out of here. Just wasted money that we could have used for something else, man. Just ridiculous. Clay Helton, may his name never be mentioned again out of my mouth and out of any USC fan's mouth. A very dark time. And then, of course, the attendance has dropped drastically at LA Coliseum. People were just tired of the bullshit, man. And you had fans questioning, why are fans not showing up the game? Why are they not coming to the game? Matt Leinart was tweeting about that on Twitter one time. And I'm like, you know why they're not coming, Matt. Don't nobody want to come and see this. You know this. Nobody wants to come see this team that continues to fail every fucking season, not live up to expectations, stuff like that. And another bad pick right there, and that's picked off by Mays. I have no idea. That was a bullet pass. I should have lopped it. That was a very bad pass right there. But anyway, everybody sees why fans are not coming to these games. Clay Helton has sucked the expectations out of the fans. He sucked the energy, not only out of the program, but out of the fans. This season, the 2021 season, was the worst USC football team I've ever seen. And that's including the 2018 team, which is the second worst now. We're getting blown out by teams like Stanford. By the way, shout out to Stanford, because that was the game that got Clay Helton fired. We are getting blown out by Stanford. They're rushing for almost 300 yards on us. Oregon State is rushing for over 200 yards on us. BYU rushing for over 200 yards on us every game. And you just see all the fans leaving the stadium around what? Late fourth quarter, early third quarter, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was just a mess. I forgot UCLA put us in a split. A young USC fan wanted the UCLA quarterback to sign an autograph after he scored a touchdown. And that's so disgusting to me. And I hope the players that are still on this team from last season, I hope they remember that. You know what just hit me? We have never beaten Notre Dame in South Bend with Clay Helton as the head coach. So disgusting. I'm just happy he's gone, man. So that's it. That's all I want to say. I just wanted to get that out. That punk motherfucker is gone. I'm so happy. Let his bitch ass rot out there in Scottsboro, Georgia. And I wish him no success. Clay Helton. Him forever. Thank you for watching. Peace. Clay Helton. I forgot. Next time, I'm going to be talking about EA Sports. Bringing back the college football game we all love so much. Peace.